Starfleet reports major military activity in the Klingon sector near Krakoor, a planet on the edge of Klingon space.
I am Quetzalcoatl, as you well know from the proud history of your world. We are not the inheritors of the noble Aztec world. What you have said has greatly disturbed me. You should not lie so. You shall remain here until you have learned the error of angering Quetzalcoatl.
I am Tolokzak, priest of Quetzalcoatl. Only one who knows his ways may approach his holy ground.
Just cross your arms and watch.
At the top of my spine is a gland not found in your species. This is the seat of my power. I wish you to remove it, thereby making me immortal.
Jim, I'll try, but the physiology is completely alien.
You've got to do it, Bones. If the Klingons realize he's no longer a threat to them, perhaps we can avoid a war. Those are serious charges, Flicht. Should he not be tried by a Klingon high court?
He has not demonstrated honor, Kirk. Only a proven warrior may be tried in high court.
Oh, well, I'm afraid you're on your own, Quetzalcoatl.
The traitor has been executed, and this unfortunate business has come to an end.
It would appear everything worked out for the best.
Except for the people of Krakoor, Mr. Spock. Except for the dead.
That old devil moon.
Message from Starfleet, sir.
On screen, Lieutenant.
The Enterprise will proceed to the Alpha Proxima system. While the indigenous race on Proxima 3 has not reached a technological level commensurate with entering the Federation, and therefore under the protection of the Prime Directive of non-interference, we do maintain a discrete monitoring satellite. It has picked up activity from an asteroid in an elliptical orbit. You are to investigate without interfering with life on the planet.
According to the library computer, the Alpha Proxima system has 5 planets and an asteroid belt. A large asteroid is heading towards the inner planets and should pass close by Proxima 3. It passes through the interior of the system once every 200 years. The people of Proxima 3 call it Scythe, the same name as their god of war.
God of War, Mr. Spock? Isn't that a bit surprising from a people whose technology matches 20th century Earth?
Considering the level of warfare during that century, I'm surprised that it is Earth that did not have a god of war. In any case, about a millennium ago, Proxima 3 suffered a globally devastating war.
Blew themselves back to the Stone Age, Mr. Spock?
Late Bronze Age, Ensign. They rebuilt their world in half the time it had taken to get there originally. But the Armageddon was mythologized as a battle between the Soths and Lucas. In that war, the planet was raised, and all the gods died except Scythe. He had rained fury down upon the world, then went off on a long dance of victory. His return is a time for worldwide soul-searching and atonement.
And Scythe returns and our monitoring station picks up activity.
It would seem that we should proceed to Alpha Proxima and scan Scythe.
Hello, dear viewers, and thank you for coming back to Saving Often. I am...
It was a big struggle for Rick to come back, but he's doing it for you.
This is Solid David, and I am Punished Rick.
It's going to be okay, Rick. There's only 3 more episodes to go.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay because today, David, we are going to investigate that old devil moon. It seems that there is an asteroid that is probably going to hit some folks over on Alpha Proxima, and it may be their god of war, and they had a 20th century Earth civilization, surprise, surprise, and it blasted them back to the Bronze Age. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to encounter whenever we go here, but we are being charged by Starfleet with investigating, but without violating the Prime Directive. The Prime Directive being the principle in Star Trek lore that prevents Starfleet from basically showing advanced technology to any race that is not yet ready for it. I guess to put it into a nutshell. The Prime Directive dictates that They cannot interfere with other societies' technological advancement, and showing them starships and computers and tricorders would screw up the natural order of the growth of their civilization. So we need to figure something out about this asteroid and not show our hands that we're spacemen.
So, would us interfering with the asteroid constitute violating the Prime Directive, though? Like, we shouldn't be doing anything, but we're also making sure that they're safe by, keeping tabs on them.
Yeah, I don't know. It gets a little murky, and the Star Trek writers themselves don't always stay consistent with what constitutes a violation of the Prime Directive. I think that ultimately we are keeping tabs and documenting their civilization so that eventually when they are technologically advanced enough, we can revisit them and make first contact with them as an advanced human race. So, I don't know, this seems like us kind of trying to be divine interveners of our own. But, apparently...
Just like our best friend, Quetzalcoatl.
Our best friend Quetzalcoatl, yes. We won't get into that. Please watch episode 5. Please make it worth my while to have recorded episode 5. I say that, I gripe, I grouse, but I am enjoying Star Trek 25th Anniversary in spite of Star Trek 25th Anniversary.
Despite of your actual enjoyment level?
I just keep telling myself, this is fine. Anyway, we need to get to Alpha Proxima, so let me dial up the old star map here, and we are going to star number 12, Alpha Proxima.
Nobody gonna announce that we got here?
I am picking up primitive radio broadcasts from Proxima 3, sir, but nothing from Scythe.
Okay. Oh, okay. Guess we'll enter orbit.
Entering standard orbit.
No, we gotta get to Scythe and check out what the weird anomalies are going on.
I am picking up primitive radio broadcasts.
A sensor scan of Scythe reveals surface features consistent with damage left by a nuclear attack. It would seem to have been a target during Proxima's war.
Scythe rained fury down on the planet and then left on a dance of victory. A missile base, Captain?
It would seem to make sense.
Captain, I just monitored a narrow beam message from Scythe to Proxima 3. I don't have it all. I just caught a bit of the initial burst. I'm attempting a translation, but it appears to be a computer code.
Any response from the planet?
The Proxtrites will not have the equipment necessary to understand and reply to that code for another 25.6 years at their present rate of development. Still translating, Captain.
Scythe. A large asteroid in an elliptical orbit in the Alpha Proxima system. Spectral analysis of its composition indicates that it has minimal atmosphere and that it was once a moon of the planet Proxima, hurled out of its orbit by a catastrophe. The 17th letter of the Lucre alphabet is named Scythe, probably not by coincidence.
Okay.
17, the most unlucky number.
Ancient cultures of Proxima. See Sophs. The Lookers believed that a man who made the most of his ability was a god. Their individualism put themselves at odds with the communitarianism of the Sophs. The Lookers used base 3. Their organization was based on units of 3, making up sets of 99. The number 99 was known to have religious importance to them.
Okay, that's good to know.
Sophs. One of the two ancient races of Proxima, they lived in a highly advanced culture that valued the community ahead of the individual, which put them in conflict with the Lucres. The Sophs used base 4 in their mathematics, and their organization was based on units of 4 to make up sets of 100.
I'm glad that there were only 2 civilizations on this planet. That's very manageable.
It's very handy.
Still translating, Captain. I suggest we beam down, sir. The surface is hostile, but survivable for a short time.
We can handle it for a full 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, as we know from previous episodes, Spock doesn't seem to ever recommend using PPE, even when it's, you know, a Vulcan-killing virus. So, yeah, this is fine. I gotta beam down with Kirk.
I mean, I'm sure Spock just thinks that the virus is fake anyway.
Oh, God. No, that would be highly illogical.
Captain, Mr. Scott wishes to speak with you.
Mr. Scott?
Aye, we've had some slight problems with the transporters.
We didn't notice anything beaming down.
Just a glitch in the main transporter program. Mr. Kyle is loading a backup and we're performing tests. The transporters will be down for about an hour.
That will still give us plenty of time, Scotty.
I know. I have the lads in engineering doing a complete overhaul of the ship's systems.
Good, Mr. Scott. I'll keep you posted. Kirk out.
Spock, if anything goes wrong, this is on you.
Save new game. Too many games. Save new game.
God, I hate this saving interface. Makes it so hard to save often.
Why would you want to save often? Like, there's no consequences.
Let's take a look around.
This is the planet Proxima, currently 600,000 kilometers from this moon. This looks like a heavy-duty security door built into the side of a hill on this moon. There are many rocks here.
I'm looking forward to interfering with this civilization.
These stones look like faces.
These stones resemble those on Earth, on Easter Island.
Stone monoliths of faces are a common artistic expression in evolving cultures.
Like the faces on Vandu, too. Even the animal face art of the Orion post-decadence movement is similar.
I never realized the Orions ever got past decadence. They hadn't the last time I was there.
Ooh, the shade.
Sounds like a good time.
The rocks have a high quantity of triphosphorus silver in them.
Ooh.
Large quantities of atmosphere are being circulated through these rocks. I would guess there are storage units within this satellite, which are constantly replacing the atmosphere that is lost because of this moon's weak gravity.
Which means that this moon might still be inhabited, Mr. Spock.
We have detected no signs of life, Captain, but the possibility does exist. As expected, Captain, the source of power emanations lies beyond that door.
A power source that has lasted millennia and endured major catastrophes. That's fascinating, Mr. Spock.
Do you have Vulcan blood, Ensign?
No, sir.
Oh no, that would be terrible. Don't insult me.
Oh my, no.
Captain, I'm afraid we got a wee problem.
What is it, Scotty?
There is some sort of virus in
Oh
the main
no.
computer. Our phasers and tractor beams have been disabled, and there's no way we're getting them back in 3 hours.
There goes our backup plan. Do what you can, Mr. Scott.
Aye, I will, Captain. I may yet have a trick or two that I can pull, but don't count on any miracles.
Isolate that virus. That's your #1 priority.
That it is, Captain. We'll keep you informed. Scott out.
It looks like some sort of display panel. This is a keypad that looks functional. This heavy-duty door has taken numerous micrometeorite strikes but still appears solid.
Micrometeorites.
Spock, see what you can do with that lock.
Password is 1234.
That did not seem to work, Captain. Perhaps we should try a number that had some significance to them. Remember, they were very superstitious.
17?
Yeah. Spock, see what you can do with that lock.
17 or 99. Let's try 17. Oops, that's 16.
That did not seem to work, Captain.
Spock, see what you can...
That did not seem to work.
Spock, see what you can do.
Softs like 100.
Softs?
That did not seem to work, Captain.
Spock, see what you can do with that.
That did not seem to...
There is nothing at the moment from... Your situation, Mr. Scott.
We're still looking for the virus, Captain. I even have Lieutenant Uhura looking through the computer system. I never realized the last was so good with them.
Check her record, Mr. Scott. She was in the top 10% of her class in computer systems analysis.
We'll find that virus soon, Captain, or I'm an Englishman.
Just do your best, Scotty. Kirk out.
There is power running to the keypad. A working display panel, Captain.
Well, we know that they liked base 3 and base 4, which means that it could be any number divisible by those numbers.
That did not seem to work, Captain. Perhaps... That did not seem to work, Captain.
Lord, this could be anything.
I feel like you were pretty thorough in terms of looking stuff up on the computer.
I do too. Well.
Save new game. Replace previous game.
Sophs, one of the two ancient races of Proxtra. They lived in a highly
The
advanced
Sophs
culture
used
that
base
valued
4.
the community ahead of the individual, which put them in
They were the
conflict with
Softies.
Yeah, and they used
base
units of
4
4 to
in
make up
mathematics.
sets of 100, so it was the Lucers that were
Lucers, one of
superstitious.
the two ancient cultures of Proxtra. See Sophs. The Lucers believed that a man who made the most of his ability was a god. Their individualism put themselves at odds with the communitarianism of the Sophs. The Lucers used
99 has religious significance.
Side, a large asteroid in an elliptical orbit in the Alpha Proxima system. Spectral analysis of its composition indicates that it has minimal atmosphere.
Yeah, and the 17th letter, as you said.
Hurled out of its
name
Maybe it's
said.
116? I don't know.
Topic not available, Captain. Topic not available, Captain. Topic not available. Topic not available.
Alpha Proxima. Star system with 5 planets. Proxtra, the third planet in the Alpha Proxima system. This Class M planet is widely habitable except for zones of extreme radioactivity on the southern continent. About 1,000 years ago, the two dominant political systems, the Lucers and the Sophs, engaged in a nuclear war that resulted in the deaths of 3/4 of the world's population through direct or collateral damage. Proxtra's current civilization is non-spacefaring and does not have contact with the Federation.
That doesn't really help us either.
Nope.
I mean, we've touched on all of the main keywords, right? I guess what was the other one? Gazel?
Gazel, a Class M world in the Alpha Proxima system, Alpha Proxima 4, a member of the Federation and a popular leisure world. Gazel is also a major center for galactic archaeology and has many museums.
I don't feel that I picked anything up there.
Let's try.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a locksmith.
Thanks.
Let's try double checking all of our numbers
There's
again.
not much I can do for cosmic radiation. It's best if we find some cover indoors.
All right. What would you like me to try?
We know 17, we know 99, and we could try doing like 106 maybe, so that like it wraps around to the first base.
Okay, so it's any number of digits. 106, you say?
Maybe.
That did not seem to work, Captain. Perhaps we should try a number.
The only other ones that were explicitly listed were the 100 and the 99.
which we've tried.
A lens sits above the doorway, but is it mere decoration?
I don't know. You tell me. Is there anything we can do over here with these heads?
There is nothing at the moment from...
Large quantities of atmosphere are being circulated through the...
Which means that this moon might...
We have detected no...
I certainly see nothing there.
Or is there elsewhere on the planet we can go? There's one gray pixel here, and it's making me feel nervous about pixel hunts. No.
If it was glinting, I'd be, like, extra anxious. So, I'm going on a hunch here, and how you would kind of depict 99 in base 3 is different than we would assume. Try 10200.
Oh,
there we go.
Crap.
Ah, that worked. I see you deduced that 10200 in the Lucre's base 3 was equal to their sacred number 99.
Wow. Great idea. Now see, that's the kind of puzzle that I feel fulfilled in us solving. Take note, Star Trek.
This appears to be some sort of security lock.
It's I think it's a little on the border because, like, if you were in the 90s and you didn't have, Wikipedia to explain to you how base 3 works, you might be in trouble.
That's true.
Report, Scotty. How are things going?
About as badly as a killed in a blast furnace, Captain. Wait a minute. Lieutenant Uhura has some news for you.
The virus came from our sensor sweep of the moon's computers. We believe we have analyzed the memory sectors it attacked.
Well done, Uhura.
I wish I could take credit for it. It was Mr. Kyle who found the pattern. We are attacking it with antivirus programs.
Computer science sounds more like medicine every day.
If we had a doctor as good with computers as you are with patients, we'd be having a lot fewer problems.
Finally, someone who appreciates me.
Keep working at it, Uhura. Kirk out.
Like, I'm trying to think about the logistics of how a scan can pick up a virus. Was there like a QR code on the moon?
I'm curious.
Nothing to
No.
Base 3.
There you go.
The mathematical basis for the Luger culture.
Oh, they just spell it out for you, even.
Numbers in base 3, 0, 1, and 2. Thus 3 in base 3 is 1, 0. 4 is 1, 1. 5 is 1, 2. 6 is 2, 0. 9 is 1, 0, 0. 17 is 1, 2, 2. And 99 is 1, 0, 2, 0, 0.
Okay, that's actually good to know.
Do we want to check base 4 just in case to see if it's going to spell out another code for us?
Base 4. The mathematical basis for the Sophs culture. There are
well, they're not making it as easy.
In base 4, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Thus 4 in base 4 is 1, 0. 7 is 1, 3. 8 is 2, 0. 12 is 3, 0. And 16 is 1, 0, 0.
Still good to know.
I like how their entry for base 4 calls out the soft specifically.
Yeah.
Like, it's like only those chumps would go ahead and use this as their number system.
Yeah, the context-sensitive computer is a little wacky to me, but...
A computer terminal. Each word in the Lucre language has 3 aspects: submissive, neutral, and aggressive. to supply connotation to their language.
Huh. Just like our dialogue system.
The door has some strange writing on it.
This door is similar to the one on the outside of the secure lock, except that it has not weathered over the years. Electrical panels indicate the keypad on the right controls the door. A computer terminal, Captain. It uses the Lucre alphabet. I think I can decipher it. A computer terminal. The console reports the following. Welcome to Orbital Missile Base. Codename Scythe. This base has been operational for the past week. It has completed one successful fire mission. Estimation of success is at 22 over 100.
22%? That's very low. Hardly something to brag about.
Doctor, in Base 3, 22 divided by 100 is equivalent to 8 out of 9, or 88%. I would think that quite satisfactory, given this base's probable mission of destroying the soft forces on Proxima.
It says the base has been operational for a week, but this has been here for 1,000 years.
If the Lucres built this base with a clock that told the time by measuring the moon's rotational speed, or the gravitational forces generated by Proxima and the sun, the computer may have calculated only a week of time has passed since its first action. I might be able to learn more with another look at the console. There is a substantial amount of data here, but in summary, Scythe was created by the Lucres as a launching platform for missiles to keep the Softs subjugated to their influence. The Softs managed to infiltrate the base. However, their actions triggered Scythe's auto-attack mechanisms and initiated a holocaust that nearly annihilated the planet. One soft strike did, in fact, hit the moon and deflected it from its orbit. It has been dormant since then.
So why has the base been activated again?
Given the damage to the moon, its slow rotation and orbit, it has never realized the war is over. On this pass, for the first time, it has detected radio wave transmissions from Proxima. Because it does not recognize them, it assumes the Softs are still active. Its transmission to the planet, I would assume, was some sort of a check beacon to see if it should continue its mission.
Jim, let's return to the ship and blast this place to destroy its weapons.
Doctor, this moon is a god to the people down there. If we destroy it, we will violate the Prime Directive.
Spock is right, Bones. Spock, what are the chances that we could decode the transmission and send a stop code to the base?
In trinary or decimal?
Spock!
1.327 million to 1, provided the archaeological studies about Lucre's languages are correct. Our other option is to get into this base and see if we can bring the computers down.
Something that occurs to me is that making the password 99 as your sacred number is a lot like making your password Jesus.
All right.
The console reports the following. Welcome to Orbital
22.
No, we're not going to go through all this again.
There is a one soft.
So why is
given the damn because it's
Jim? Let's
Doctor. This
Spock is
in trying
Spock.
1 point. A computer terminal, Captain.
And the one on the right is supposed to be the one that can open the door.
This keypad is fully functional and controls the door. Its entry code is in Base 3.
Spock, see what you can do with that lock.
Okay, how about 17?
What's that going to be in Base 3?
122.
Fascinating. If the Federation language studies were correct, the ideograph for the word scythe in the Lucre's language is the 17th symbol in their alphabet that corresponds with 122 in Base 3.
I appreciate that Spock explains all these things in case you brute forced it.
Mm-hmm. You went through all possible combinations up to 122.
Captain, we have a cure for the computer virus.
Well done, Uhura.
I modified Ctrl-C to exclusively attack the Lucre virus. They annihilated each other, Captain.
Fascinating, Lieutenant.
The Klingons aren't going to be happy to learn that they helped us. How about the phasers and tractor beams?
We may get the tractor beams online in time, Captain. I'm afraid even the backup phaser transmission codes were affected. We could destroy some missiles manually, but if this complex decides to launch more than 10 missiles at a time...
Understood. The ball is in our court. We'll give it our best shot. Kirk out.
So was there any purpose for this virus subplot? Was it just to generate some tension?
I guess so.
I guess we'll find out.
I think it's just like we can't like use the our weapons to just destroy the base from orbit, which would probably be a simpler way to handle the situation beyond maybe losing some commendation points for blowing up a god.
You are in a corridor that connects to 3 other chambers. This panel is designed to receive an ID card to make the door open. This door appears to be very solid. There are a few stress fractures on this beam, but it still looks to be quite sturdy.
Was there something else here?
Although centuries old, these lights still provide illumination for this complex.
Good bulbs.
Good stock.
Don't make them like that anymore.
Oh, hey!
Can't say I like the decor.
The Lucres did not leave behind many examples of their architecture.
I can see why.
It's our old friend, this thing.
The neutrino blaster.
This is an ancient laser drill.
No, it's an ancient laser drill. Never mind.
But they did get to reuse the asset, so...
Yeah, they did.
A closed box sits on the floor.
Bet there's dynamite in there. I wanted you to...
Nothing to report, Captain.
Completely unremarkable.
This box contains old wire and connectors.
Oh, everybody's got one of those.
Yeah. You acquire the lightning cables.
We picked up every cable in this giant crate.
A length of wire with some sort of connector at each end.
Yeah, okay. What's up with these, Are these hoses? They kind of look more like tendrils or roots.
Yeah, they're like the swamp monster from the last planet.
Ooh.
This is an ancient laser... This is a laser drill control panel.
This is the laser drill's control panel. It is functional and power is flowing to it.
All right, nerd, look at it.
Laser setting 1, 10, 100, or cancel.
Okay, so submissive, neutral, or aggressive.
These are display panels for the laser drill.
These are display panels for the laser drill. They are still functional. These are display...
Did we determine what each, what do they call that?
The language, like what the connotations were for the different
the connotations.
Numbers? I believe it was submissive, neutral, and aggressive for 1, 2, 3.
In that order?
That was my recollection, but I could be wrong. And it's a good time to save your game.
You're right. It's always a good time to save your
Save,
game.
new, cancel, delete, replace, save, can replace.
Well,
I love these ominous computer farts for our background.
Captain, the machine requests the proper coordinates before it may perform this operation.
So give it the coordinates.
Captain, the machine requests the proper coordinates.
How do we do
Nothing
this?
can be gained by trying to force it around.
You look but see nothing. You look but... You look but see nothing of...
So we only want to animate this once. You're going to make it a puzzle. Maybe we need to scan the rock wall with something to kind of feel out like exactly where we want to shoot.
Unlike the surface rocks, the ore here is unremarkable. The mine shaft was drilled out of the lunar rock by a laser device, similar to the one mounted in the ceiling. Unlike the surface rock...
That could just be a coincidence.
These are The drill is unremarkable, except its aiming component is corroded and frozen in place.
Spock, why don't you check out those laser drill controls?
Captain, the machine requests the proper coordinate.
But how do I input coordinates?
There is nothing at the moment.
And our major problem right now is that
There's nothing at the
we
moment.
can't get into the other room without a key card, right? So,
as far as I can tell, yes.
Nothing happens.
And we can't just like blast the wall ourselves with our phasers.
That's an idea.
That's a phaser, not a flashlight, Jim.
Duh, David.
In the first episode, we blasted rocks, no problem.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens. A length of wire with some sort of
connector.
Don't you remember the Prime Directive?
Don't shoot laser drills.
You look but see nothing of note.
I don't suppose I can fiddle with this ID card reader.
Just hack our way in.
This panel has a slot in it rather than a keypad. The slot bears traces of triphosphorate silver, and power is currently running to it. I am recording the pattern of this lock into my tricorder. Captain,
Are we
the 3K
gonna...
AG content of the surface rocks and the tricorder scan of the pattern inside the lock. I believe the laser drill can be used to fashion the ID card needed to open this door.
That's silly.
That's ridiculous.
We're just going to 3D print ourselves a key card.
Using a frickin' mining laser.
Spock, why don't you check out?
Captain, the machine requests the...
Oh my god.
I used the key card pattern scanned from the lock to program the drill. It should now be able to make a template of the key card in the rock. I used the key...
Yeah, I get it.
Beautiful.
But that's just a template.
Do we need to put the wires on top of
The laser
it?
drill has cut a template for the key card in the stone.
That would be silly.
It's gonna be like...
Nothing happens.
You're right. What was I thinking?
Oh, no, I think I know. Well, maybe. Do we have to maybe go out and grab some dirt?
That would be reasonable, assuming we can, like, you know, actually pick anything up. Also, all that stuff tracked on the floor there would have been, like, feasible, but... They did say that the soil has a lot of silver in it, so...
You retrieve a rock.
A lot of rocks in this session, and it just makes me want to, like, stat grind our throwing skill.
I know. Oh, no. Oh, buttons. Oh my god. Can we please just take the rock?
This is a key card made from the triphosphorate silver rock.
Okay, so I'm fully convinced that adventure games like this are the reason why I try so many ridiculous things in my everyday real life that just never work out for me. Because in a game like this, you can shove a bunch of rocks into a template created by a laser drill and make a fully functioning keycard.
Yeah, it's great.
I tried doing that, and they say I set the house on fire.
A duplicate of the pass card you made from triphosphate silver.
Listen, your brain's been rewarded with just trying random garbage. You can't be faulted for anything. The judge can't convict you.
This appears to be the brain of Scythe. There are two identical but isolated computers that communicate with a third, which controls the launch of missiles.
Save, new count, delete, replace. This computer is marked with the last letter of the Lucre alphabet. This computer is marked with the first letter of the Lucre alphabet. Missiles of death and destruction. The Lucre believed that you could never have enough of them. Missiles of death. This computer controls the launch of missiles. It is directly controlled by the other computers. Missiles of death and... This door is marked with a radiation hazard symbol. These lights are still operational after centuries.
A crude uranium-235 nuclear device with lithium-beryllium shells to increase heavy particle fallout. This computer is functional and performing an average 0.75 million operations per second. This computer is functional and performing an average 1.2 million operations per second.
But how does that compare to a modern computer?
And what is that in base 3?
Yeah.
This computer directly controls the missile launch system. There is no way to interface with it directly, but the other two computers are accessible. Readings indicate an extremely high radiation level beyond those doors. It would be fatal to proceed beyond them.
Well, let's go!
Mr. Spock, why don't you take a look at those computers?
Welcome to Side Operations Center, Alpha Unit. Estimated time to optimal launch range is 3.21 hours adjusted.
Look at you, hacker.
Is that time estimate based on its weird, like, clock that thinks that a week has passed in centuries?
Probably.
Mr. Spock, why don't you take a look at those computers?
Hurry it up, Spock.
Welcome to Side Operations Center, Omega Unit. Estimated time to optimal launch range is 1.31 hours adjusted.
Captain, something is wrong with the computers. They may be twins, but they are not identical.
It appears they are out of sync, Captain. I have to assume the Alpha unit has a virus, which is using up an incredible amount of computing time.
They report different optimum launch times, which is right.
Given the elliptical orbit and the range at which they will pass Proxima, the Omega unit is correct, but the window is very narrow. A variation of minutes will mean the missiles run out of fuel and fall harmlessly into the sun.
Can you reprogram the Lucre's computer to give us that time, Mr. Spock?
Reprogramming an old alien computer is not simple, Captain. The odds against success are 10,221 to 1 against.
Too bad all Omega here couldn't just take a sick day and miss the firing.
Because the two machines are isolated, the virus did not spread from one to the other.
If we could only bridge them.
If only we had a wire.
The connector snaps into place.
You've got virus.
Welcome to Side Operations Center, Omega Unit. Estimated time to optimal launch range is 1.54 hours. Adjusted.
The launched missiles will run out of fuel before they reach Proxtree. They will drift into the sun and burn up.
Kirk to Enterprise, how are the transporters, Scotty?
They're operational again, Captain. We're ready to bring you back at any time.
Bring us home.
Is it just that easy?
Message from Starfleet.
On screen, Lieutenant.
We have read your report on the problems at Proxima 3 and evaluate your performance at 96%. You and your crew received 3 commendation points.
That's still an A+.
The top brass at Starfleet are impressed. Outstanding work, Jim.
Hard to believe that Earth came so close to the brink itself.
What did we miss?
Those in the end looked into the abyss and came to the only logical conclusion.
Logic? Humans? I'm dreaming, Jim.
Sometimes it is harder and braver to make peace rather than war.
Sounds like emotion had its part to play in a positive sense, too.
I don't know about you, but I'd like to bid an emotional goodbye to Alpha Proxima myself.
Take us out of orbit, Mr. Sulu.
Vengeance.
Captain's log. We are arriving at the last known position of the USS Republic, which reported that it was under attack 12 hours ago.
Captain, the ship's sensors have picked up what appears to be a starship. Minimal life support, minimal engine power, and only 2 life forms, one on the bridge, the other in sickbay. Both appear to be gravely injured. It is the Republic.
Spock, come with me. Mr. Scott, you have the con.
I am preparing an information packet for Starfleet. Shall I send it or wait for you to return?
Send it now. If a hostile ship arrives, head immediately for Starbase 24.
Now, this sounds like a decision that I'm not prepared to make just yet. What are your thoughts on Episode 6, David?
It was quick and painless, relatively speaking. It had fewer points of interest because we didn't really have any characters beyond our crew. We had our main puzzle was trying to understand how to depict Base 3, which the game does spell out to us if we think to look for it, and then making a key card. And otherwise, it's like, oh, it feels a little less, but also I can't complain too loud because basically every other episode had huge points of suffering for us.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better myself. I feel that tonally, this one was maybe the closest to some of the most memorable episodes of TOS, simply because a lot of them, being in the 60s, all being produced in the 60s, kind of dealt with a lot of these different themes of, looking back on the Cold War and on World War II from the perspective of an advanced civilization that has eschewed these needs for, civil war among humans. So the fact that they kind of took this alien race and built up this whole mythos about them being similar to 20th century Earth, and having basically destroyed their civilization because of nuclear war feels incredibly on brand for TOS. So in that way, this may have been one of my favorite episodes so far, from a lore perspective. The puzzles were okay, but it doesn't feel like we did a whole lot. It didn't feel particularly climactic. It was more focused than, say, the Harry Mudd episode, but it also kind of felt sort of flat. It felt like a bottle episode in some ways. There was an awful lot of lore that they dumped on us, especially in the beginning, and I thought this was going to be a much deeper thing. I thought we were going to be interacting with these races and trying to broker some peace among the civilizations there, but apparently that was enough. The missiles sank into the sun, and somehow we only got 3 commendation points. What in the hell did we miss?
I don't even think we really had like dialogue options either for this section. So it's not like, I feel like there's something small, like just making an observation would have made that difference.
That's what I'm thinking too. There must have been something that we could have looked at or scanned that would have given us some insight into their civilization.
In the long term here, I feel like that if this virus is ever cured in these computers, then it'll absolutely like wreck those planets immediately.
Yeah, that seems like an oversight too, and maybe that is maybe that's part of it, is that we didn't solve the problem long term, but I don't know. A very gentle and quiet episode of 25th anniversary. I don't feel like I can complain, which is kind of a nice feeling. So,
it's one step closer to the end of Star Trek 25th anniversary.
It is, and after episodes like this one, I have hope. I'm optimistic. I feel good about Episode 7, Vengeance, and whatever comes after that. I am curious because, if I'm not mistaken, I remember reading at some point that there was a greater arc to this game. Something that ties every episode together, and I'm curious about what that could possibly be. I'm trying to remember back to Episode 1. Was the USS Republic the ship that we were doing the mock combat training scenario with?
I do not remember, but that sounds very reasonable.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, I wonder if that's gonna play into it somehow.
There's a lot of threads here that I don't even know how you can connect them, because there are some disparate ways that you can have these different episodes play out in terms of like, okay, well, everything's screwed and you did a terrible job, Kirk.
Yeah.
But I do think that the mock battle was something that you didn't have much say over. It just kind of like you had the battle and that was it.
Yeah, you didn't have much say over it, and it could have just been a tutorial or a training exercise for you to learn the ship combat, but I don't know, it'd be nice if it fit into the greater narrative of everything. But I guess we'll find out, and you can join us next week when we do.
You can, if this doesn't, slate your bloodthirst for us getting mad at video games, then maybe you'll get some of that next week.
Who knows? Maybe episode 7 or 8 will give you the anger that you crave so much.
Who will break and when?
Spoiler, it'll be me. I haven't even played episode 7 yet, but it'll be me. But hey, that is why we save early and also why we save often. So thank you very much for joining us. As always, we hope that you'll return for more. I feel pretty good. This is strange. This is strange.
I'm enjoying this. Like, we got through the episode, I didn't get angry.
I don't feel exasperated. I don't feel like I need some aspirin and some coffee. Pretty good. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Save early, save often, and we'll talk to you next time.
See ya.